Napa know-how.
A Napa guy knows more isn't always better, unless we're talking about full-size vans. These beasts do more than get you from A to B. They have so much space a man can live in it. With shag carpeting, waterbed, and a sweet lava lamp, these mobile abodes have all the comforts of home. With quality parts and plenty of Napa know-how, you can keep the original tiny house running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my special Saturday edition of Samcro Radio. This is obviously my last show of the week, and I'm very excited that the person I get to chat with for the next hour is Mr. ER Ruiz. Most of you recognize him, I'm guessing, from his role in Sons of Anarchy, but you might be interested to find out about his career as a hip-hop musician and ideally, of course, just his whole background. He's just an amazing inspiration as a young individual, so I'm very excited to have him as my interview today. So let's get started right away. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. This is the one and only ER on the mic.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Modulating, percolating.
Oh, my God, you're so lucky. It's probably like, what, 70 degrees right there? Right, and I'm like in 18-degree weather. I'm freezing my ass off. Oh, my God, it's like freezing cold.
It's sunny California today.
You suck. You totally suck. But that's okay because, you know, I'm going to come and visit your fair city eventually, so I will get to sit and skinny dip and do all that fun stuff that people get to do out in L.A. that I hear about that I don't ever get to do here in Wisconsin.
That's great. Gonna come and take a dip in the Pacific Ocean. It's all good and cool out here. We got palm trees, good weather, nice breeze. It's and great food, great atmosphere. And you guys, all the Sons of Anarchy is there, obviously. You guys are there. I mean, literally, all the different characters from Sons of Anarchy. Obviously, everybody's out in California. And I really, really, I've got a chance to meet so many different people, and I get to meet them on the show, obviously, but not face-to-face. So it would be kind of cool to put, like, faces together with other people, especially people like you. I mean, if I wasn't given the chance to talk to you, I didn't know a thing about you until a couple of days ago. I really just kind of dug, and I'm like, let's check this guy out. And by the way, the next time you come to Milwaukee, make sure you bring your butt over here. Thanks a lot for kind of dissing me and being like, oh no, I'm not gonna look up. I didn't
Thanks
know.
a lot.
I didn't know at the time. I didn't know.
Right.
We should have done the interview like last year before I went out there, and then.
Well, then pick it up with
cool.
Mr. Sam Crow. He didn't ask me about that a year ago. He just asked me about that not so long ago. So, but that's okay.
I thought about it. I saw your profile, and I saw you was from Milwaukee, and I was like, oh damn, I was out there. I was out there last year for like a whole week.
Oh my God, we totally could have hung. That would have been awesome. Well, now you know. If you don't come here and you don't say hello to me, I'm going to be very offended. I'm just going to tell you that now.
Don't worry about that. I need more new connects wherever I go.
Perfect.
Show me spot. Show me where I can get my hair cut at. Good eateries and stuff like that. I
Take
just
you
can't
out
go
for
to
some
eat
good old-fashioned food. Yep, you betcha. Definitely. Now, I want to start off by saying that I think, and this is just a personal opinion, I just find you to be a man of significant talent. Obviously, in my opinion, I think you prove yourself to be an inspiration to both younger and older audiences alike. It's just my opinion based on what I know of you so far. Why don't we start off by saying, or asking rather, how did your path to stardom initiate? Meaning, here you are, you're a young kid, you're at home, you're with your family. How does a boy like that get to a point where they want to become such an enigma? Where did it start?
I was always a creative-driven person. Like I used to draw a lot. Actually, I'm actually like a good artist. I used to draw characters, people, and then I went to I studied like a little bit of graphic design.
Okay.
And then I did a semester of that stuff, and but you know what? I wanted something different, so I changed my major into broadcasting, and I started interning at a radio station out here, KJLH 102.3, which is actually owned by Stevie Wonder, and they stream online too. So if everybody want to listen to a Stevie Wonder station, that's KJLH 102.3, and then just being in that field and networking and just being around people in different places, I gradually started networking with people that's into Hollywood, and then, I just gave it a try. And I started off doing extra work, actually. So I started off as an extra, working on different projects. My first movie I worked on as an extra was the Spider-Man movie.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the graduation scene. You probably not going to see me, but I'm way in the background somewhere, graduating with all the other folks. And, I just kept doing it. Yeah, and eventually after a while, I was like, you know what, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to take it up a notch. And things just started working out better for me. And so it wasn't something like I actually planned. I always did enjoy watching movies. I always did enjoy certain actors that I liked, and it just seemed like this is something that I should do.
Sure.
And then I seen a lot of, and then on top of that, while I was doing it, I was influencing people that I met. Because they'll see me and me being a burn survivor, it's like inspiration to people, and they don't even have to be a burn survivor. They could be going through anything in their life that we don't see on the outside, and just doing what I'm doing, and kind of inspired them, and it just pushes me to do even more. So after a while, I was just like, what, this may be it for me. This is something that I should pursue full time, and this is where it's at out here in LA. This lights, camera, action out here. So,
right.
It's a part of what goes on out here in LA. So, it's just it's something that's that I naturally was drawn to. But everything I've done was always about music, though, because that's my first love. Music was always my first love. I love rapping. I love listening to music. I kind of my rapping kind of took a backseat to the acting, but I still make music here and there, and I'm actually about to release like a little mixtape real soon, coming out real soon.
Cool.
So yeah.
I was going to mention that, or rather I should ask the question of this, because obviously when you're young and you're kind of still first trying to figure out, okay, with you it's different because there's the acting part and then there's the music part, like you said, and I know you've done producing before. When you were young and kind of coming up, did you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to set one goal for myself, like I'm going to go after the music or go after the acting, or did it just take you a long time to kind of figure out where you wanted to go with everything?
It took me a long time because I still didn't know. I was still trying to find myself, being a burn survivor and just growing up and dealing with, life as a young adult. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go. I always knew I was creative driven, like I said. I always knew I was into arts. I was into music, and I really didn't know. I didn't have no idea. I was still trying to find myself, trying to figure out who I was as a person and what I wanted to do, and I think I started finding my identity like after high school. I knew high school was kind of pivotal for me because it gave me confidence to be who I was. I kind of actually stepped out of the shadow and became who I wanted to become, but I still didn't know, what my future was. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. As a matter of fact, were you prompted? Like at home from your family, did they kind of prompt you to maybe go in one direction or the other, or was no one from that background?
They prompted me to get into like drawing and art and graphic design and art and stuff like that. And and I still do to a certain degree. Pushing, doing like little stuff for myself just to promote me, as an actor or music wise. So I still have a little of that talent that I still use. And then, hopefully I could, when I'm sitting on millions of dollars and I ain't got to work no more and I could just kick back and maybe I could start doing paintings and, be like a Picasso or something, and just start going into stuff I used to do when I was a kid. But, they prompted me to get into like art and to an art school and stuff like that. But, and when I did it, it was fun. But, it just didn't seem like what I wanted to do. Or, better yet, it wasn't exciting for me.
Okay.
So,
I got you.
yeah.
I know. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's kind of like you have to feel things out a little bit and kind of explore the different possibilities and stuff like that. And I almost feel very pushed to ask this question just from your perspective, obviously, because to those of us who know ER, obviously, was there any apprehension on your part, because obviously society views things differently, as we all know. So because, of course, I'm white and you're black per se, was there any fear on your part just of getting more or less success just on the basis of the fact that you are colored as compared to not colored? Do you know what I'm saying?
The only apprehension that I ever I kind of pondered on was the fact that just, being a burn survivor and getting into an industry that has a lot to do with your image. That right there kind of like, I paused it for a long time and sat and thought about that. But after a while, I just said, this is my life. I'm only going to live one time, so I never want to sit back and regret any decision. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to just do it. Because I don't want to sit back years from now and be like, I wish I should have done that. I don't ever want to, I never want to be in that position. So that's how I look at it, And I say, right.
It is a good answer, because let me tell you, that's a huge barrier in society today. I see that in the LGBT community as well. It's kind of like you almost feel like you're hindered in some way, not because of your own talent, but because of society's impression upon, if this is a black actor as compared to, a gay actor or something like that. You're almost stereotyped into, or do you feel that's accurate assessment? Are you stereotyped, do you think, because of your color, or have you found that at all?
I am stereotyped to a degree, but it's fun. I don't mind playing the bad guys because those are the funnest roles to play.
Really?
So yeah. I like it. It's fun. It's exciting. It's fun. And more or less, it's kind of like a part of me that it's like playing the bad side of me that I don't normally get to play unless somebody makes me mad.
So don't piss them off anyone.
Right. It's definitely fun. I don't mind at all being a character actor because some of the best actors are character actors. So, so it's fine with me. I'm going to take it as it comes and just grow as an actor and then, eventually start writing and producing my own stuff in the future. And once I start doing that, that will be able to showcase a different side of myself. So I'm gonna milk the industry as a character, and then once I start doing my own stuff, people will see the other side.
Definitely. So you think you might carry with you or possess the ability to be versatile? Let's say, for instance, like a Denzel Washington, the guy who can play an American gangster and then turn around and just be, Mr. John Q comes and kind of rescues the day. You think you have that versatility?
Absolutely, and I'm still learning because it's acting is a craft. Every day I'm learning something. When I'm on a set with great actors, I'm picking up cues, techniques here and there, and just learning every day. To where I could be on a Denzel Washington level. So it's. Like a person like Denzel, he's been doing it for a long time, and I'm sure he's still learning himself. He's still challenging himself as an actor, So for me, it's the same process, I've had school, I've done some theater, and like I said, I'm still learning. When I was on the set of SOA, actors like Kim Coates and, Ron Perlman, just being around them, and then we do a scene, and they'll just be like, they'll give me tips and hit pointers and, just to be a better actor. And every time I'm on the set, I'm picking up techniques, whether they're telling me intentionally or not, I'm still studying. Mm-hmm. So I definitely believe I could be on a Denzel caliber. So you just got to keep knocking down these doors, keep doing what I'm doing, and people gonna see. They're gonna see more of me, because I'm not going nowhere.
This is cool. Does that mean you have the fineness factor he has too? Because that boy is fine. He's just nothing short of fine. He's a handsome man.
Yeah, it's all about your swag. It's it's all about how you carry yourself, and you know you can pick, and then once you carry yourself a certain way, you carry that, through the lens, and people will see that, you know. That's that's not a it's all about
a lot in presentation. Definitely so. I heard that recently from someone, so yeah, definitely. So we'll see how you turn out here. I have very high expectations for you, young man. So
thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Now, I know you and I, as you had just mentioned a little bit ago, we both obviously have a similar background in that we have experience by a radio station. I know you did an internship and you had studied broadcasting during your time at Santa Monica College. Do you feel that performing the duties, let's say, at the radio station assisted you in any manner in terms of being a recording artist? Did you take anything away from that?
Yeah, I learned some game. I learned a few things about the inside and out of radio, and I think it has enhanced me more or less on the networking side and how things work and getting your music out there. You know, just being an artist and networking with people behind the scenes. You know, it's totally different from Hollywood. Sometimes a little bit the same, but the environment is a little different. But yeah, I have learned a lot and through that, and it has helped me in a way in Hollywood as just knowing the lingo, talking, and knowing how to network with people and present myself as a product to people, because that's how people look at you. Whether it's music or acting, you know, you are a product to the studios or labels, and you know, if they put you in their film, they banking on the ER as the product to help push their film or to help push that music, you know, for the label. So in a way, it made me look at myself as, you know what, I'm a product, so I have to market myself as versatile product. So, and that's pretty much how it is. You know, it's just, you know, you are a product that people look at and see whether or not you're a good enough product for them to put you on with. It seems kind of harsh, but it's like at its simplest form, that's what it is. You know,
and that does sound kind of harsh. It really does when you talk about that. People are not supposed to be products; they're supposed to be individuals here.
Right, but yeah,
I know what
we
you
are.
mean.
Right, yeah, we are individuals, but you are selling yourself. You know, you are selling yourself, whether you want to, are you auditioning for a job, when you sit up in that audition, you selling yourself to be that person for that film. So, yeah, you know, you have to sell yourself as that product. That's what they're looking for.
And continue to keep selling yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, I'm selling myself as who I am, being me, and that's the difference. You know, like, I'm not putting up no front. I'm not pretending to be someone else. You know, I'm showing up and I'm showing you, look, this is me. This is who I am. This is who I am as a person. And I could be this. I could play this role. So, and I could do this music. So, you know. You like working with me? You know, we could set it off and we could do something great together. So let's make it happen. And it's been working for me. And I'm just blessed to be able to get all the opportunities I'm getting and opportunities out, you know, that I'm looking forward to in the future. And you know, so for me, that's how I'm looking at it. Because you know, it could be a tough. It's a tough industry, and some people, you know, they come out here to Hollywood and they give themselves time limits to try to make it, and you know, or sometimes they get discouraged after after a year or two of not being able to get where they want to be, and you know, sometimes you can't put a time limit on it, and you can't take everything personally, because it's at the end of the day, it's all business, and you just have to. And that's what I mean by being a product, you know, because at the end of the day, everything is all business. So you kind of have to like wear thick skin and just keep on breaking down doors until you get you a shot, or you put something in the can and do something yourself where, you know, people will notice you and your talents. Either way, that's that's how it goes. And now it's much easier now because we have such a big social media now to where, people are producing their own comedy skits, their own little web series, their shows, music videos, music, and it's much easier to get noticed. You got just like this rapper named Trinidad James. He got one song and now the whole world knows who he is. Or Justin Bieber, or people that do web series and shorts. It catches on and people see your talents and stuff like that. So yeah.
So you're a good salesman.
I'm a good salesman.
You're a hell of a good salesman, actually. You are, because, SOA is not something that just comes across everybody's path, as you know, all over the place, which I think is, obviously that's just one of many accomplishments that you have. But, obviously it doesn't come along to just anyone. So, like you're saying, you do have to sell yourself very well. And any guy that goes around liking all my statuses on Facebook is pretty cool. And I find out today that he likes American Horror Story, too, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Was that a weird series or what? I don't mean to get off the kick here in the interview, but oh my God, this last season, that was bananas, wasn't it? It was crazy.
I like stuff like that. Like I like that. I'm really into like the Walking Dead now since they just premiered the new season. So like I'm following that, every Sunday night, and man, it's little. I got two little dogs over here around me, so running around messing with stuff they don't need to be messing with.
That happens, doesn't it? Like real life integrates into this. Yeah, we're on the radio. Okay, well, apparently real life's going to interfere in this, right? That's
right.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
And before I forget to mention this to you, I wanted to let you know, to give you a big shout out from the Crow Eaters Club, because of course, obviously, everybody is listening, or at least as many as can, including Mr. Sam Crow himself. So I just wanted to let you know that the full weight of the Sam Crow Eaters Club is behind you, and we love you and we support you. Just throwing that out there for you.
Thank you. I love everyone. I love every one of you guys too. You guys supporting me a lot, and it feels great to have fans that's following my career. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now I took a chance, obviously, and I'm going through some of your work, and before we get into that, obviously, I know that, and I think you might have prefaced this before, you were a drama major in college as well. I know that you have studied Stanislavski's method acting technique. For those that don't know about this, I'm just curious if maybe you can give a short summary. Tell us what is entailed with that type of teaching, as well as how it enabled your performances theatrically. How has it enhanced you?
The Stanislavski method is it's about method acting. It's about really putting yourself in that position to that character. And some people take it to the extreme, like let's say, you playing a character that's real stressed out, or you just bring all those emotions from your past that stressed you out, and you kind of like bring it in and you deliver your lines with that feeling. So that's what Stanislavski is. It's living in that character. Some people go as far as like if they're like playing something where they're real tired, they'll go run like a couple of laps and then come back and do a scene just to convey that realism of the character being tired,
Mm-hmm.
And it helped a lot because I can go into deep into myself and bring up old memories or pain or situations that I've been through to convey convey through a character, and that's what that Stanislavski method had taught me, and it helped a lot, and not just that, but just like I said, just being on the set or networking with other actors, and even just real life situations, just being in real life. I've been able to take all those components and just put it together to
to help be a better actor every day, every time I'm working, whether it's even music, you know. But the Stanislavski method, it's definitely method. It's all method acting. It's all method. It's broken down into a chart and everything. It's real precise, and some people live and die by it. You know, I just take the elements of it. I've taken the elements of it and just applied it to myself and other things I learned to be the actor that I want to be. You know, and it's working. It's helping out a lot. You know.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
I do notice, obviously, that you had done further experience relative to that in terms of Van Maar Academy of Acting, too. So I know that you've also done some studying there. So I was curious to ask, did you notice parallel teachings as it relates to both of these types of studies, or are they vastly different in their approach?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you quite
no, that's okay.
Real good.
Let's try that again. Now, I know you've done Stanislavski's. I know that you also went to Van Maar Academy of Acting. I'm just trying to figure out, are those techniques or teachings rather parallel, or did you find vast differences between the two?
No, they're parallel. They're parallel a lot. Well, in the manner that when I studied the Stanislavski method, it was a theater class. So a lot about theater is more about like expressing yourself with arm movements and kind of like being more expressive with your body and in stage presence. With the Van Maar Academy, it was more about camera techniques, you know, being in the right spot, you know, subtle movements, more with your eyes, you know. But the techniques in the Stanislavski works with the camera also. It's parallel, you know. They're both parallel, but the Van Maar Academy was more about acting in front of the camera as opposed to what I studied in school, where it was more acting on a stage in front of people. Mm-hmm. So that right there that's the only difference. That's the only difference between the two schools that I studied in. The Van Maar was more precise with camera, because with camera, you have to. It's more, the acting is more in your eyes, in your face, because your subtle movements could be magnified. If you lick your lips a lot, it could make it seem like you got a problem licking your lips on the camera. It could seem weird, or you blink a lot, or just the subtle movements that you do. You have to, on top of being a good actor, you also have to know your body and know your movements and know when to do a movement or know when to do a certain facial expression or to look in, and how to express yourself through your eyes. Right. Some people don't know how to do that, and it takes a while because some theater actors get into camera and they get into acting in front of the camera, and it's totally different because they still approach it as a theater actor, but you have to approach it differently.
I see.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
I'm wondering, would you classify yourself, therefore, as a method actor?
Yeah. I think I classify myself as a method actor because when I do these character roles, it's really just myself. I'm really just being myself. Actually, I'm tapping into like the dark side of myself to bring out these characters that I play in these certain roles and films that I do. But I do want to challenge myself more with more better stuff that challenge me as an actor. And I'm at the process of doing that. I've been doing a lot more smaller films, just to keep working and just to practice on my craft. And who knows? Some of these films, they may, they submit them to the film festivals and they're being screened and stuff like that. So you never know what can happen with smaller films. But as an actor, it's for me, it works. It helps me out because I'm constantly working. I'm constantly challenging myself. I'm constantly learning, and just perfecting on this craft so I can be on the Denzel level, on the Kevin Spacey level, just like one of the greats, So those are the ones that I want to be on their level. Yeah,
of course.
And eventually, be in films with them. So I'm on the right track. I'm just keep doing what I'm doing, and things will just carry on from there. Opportunities will just keep popping up as long as I'm keep knocking down the doors, keep striving at them. And they say success is when opportunity meets preparation. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just prepping myself, for each opportunity, and it just get better and better.
Wonderful.
But definitely
Absolutely
a method.
wonderful. Yeah, gotcha. And I kind of figured as much, but all right. Now I want to ask you one more question before we start getting into, obviously, the different bodies of work that you've done. I noticed that not unlike most that I've interviewed in the past in terms of with an acting background, I know that you had done some or have some experience rather as a background artist. How, I guess the one question that I want to ask about, background artists, for those that are not in the industry or in entertainment, what ideally encompasses being a background artist? What exactly do you do in that vernacular?
All right. As a background artist, okay, you know how you watch a movie and a scene is going on outside and the two main characters are talking in front of a coffee shop, and you see like people in the background ordering coffee or sitting at a table, and those are like all background artists. They mean a lot to the scene, but they're not the focal point of the scene. They just help with the scene, the realism of the scene, to make it seem more authentic. So that's a lot what the background artists are. When you watch a lot of commercials or movies or TV shows and you see people in the background walking or back and forth or crossing and interacting in the background, or maybe interact with the main characters. They help bring the realism to the scene, and without the background actors, there isn't no good movie, or they make the movie good or the TV show authentic, and a lot of actors, sometimes main actors that I've ran across, sometimes they look at background as negative, but a lot of the great actors like a Brad Pitt started off their career as an extra, and so a background artist. So it definitely helps, doesn't it? It kind of all adds to the picture and helps you to move along properly. And you can say, I did the same thing Brad Pitt did. Exactly. Wow. How cool is that? That's real cool.
I like it even more as we go along here, man. This is good. Moving right along.
Moving right along.
Did you have something else to say? Otherwise, we can move along.
Yeah, I do have something else to say. When I had auditioned for Sons of Anarchy, the producers told me that they said that it's between me and someone else that had the part, and they asked me, was I willing to do a background? Now nobody know that, but like before my first scene, I was an extra in the shootout, or like a shootout scene or something, and they to help establish my character. And I think when I accepted that background role, I think that was the leverage, the edge that got me that role. Because I assumed that maybe the other actor didn't want to do no background. He was like, I probably didn't want to do it. And I was like, I'll do it. And then I'm assuming this. I don't know for a fact, but I know when I auditioned for it, they called me back and they said it was between me and someone else. And they asked me, was I willing to do background? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Why not? I don't care. And then, bam, they called me, said I had it. They wanted me to do a background on the episode before mine, and then I was on the show. So, it's not bad. Some people think doing background hinders you, but if you're starting off and you want to you want to learn the game, that's the best way to go.
Very good.
To me, it got me the part.
Exactly, and you're sitting here right now, obviously. So, obviously lesson learned here in that you can't limit yourself and, walk into the game and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be the hot shit and all this and that, and I don't have to do this and this. Sometimes you have to start at a certain level and work your way up.
Right, you got to crawl before you walk. Right,
hey, that's
exactly
right.
Walk.
And now you're running. You're not even walking anymore. You're like running.
I'm running, but I'm not. I'm running, but it ain't Usain Bolt. It ain't Usain Bolt speed. I'm running, but it ain't Olympic speed yet. It's getting there. It's getting there.
It is getting there. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. We're hoping to help pump you up with this interview, so we'll see how we do here. Are we doing okay so far?
Yes, I'm doing great. I'm chilling today. I'm just relaxing. I took a nap before the interview, so I'm rejuvenated.
Got yourself all nice and ready. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to talk about your fan favorite role, which is, of course, your character of Gil on The Sons of Anarchy. I cite this for those who don't know this. Your appearances span from the years 2008 to 2011 on said endeavor. And to those who may not actually faithfully watch, which I have a hard time believing anyone listening to the show hasn't watched faithfully all this time, your character was a member of the 1-9ers, who Alvarez ultimately ended up killing in season 4.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Right.
What up, Kurt Sutter? What up is all I can say about that. I want to backtrack for a moment. First off, I wanted to ask what proved to be the driving force in this arrangement of you being cast on the show. How did that come about?
I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I came in for the audition, and it was a lot of people in there, a few people, and then I looked in there and I was like, man, this guy looked like he may get it. I was sizing things up, not in a way where, because I go in there and I'm confident what I'm doing, so I'm not like discouraged, but I was kind of sizing up my competition, and I'm not exactly sure. I just think I had that energy, that presence that they were looking for, something that was unique and different, that would fit into that role that they wanted to cast me in. And like I said, it came down to what I believe. It came down to whether or not I was willing to start off as a background. I think that was the decision that was supposed to be made. I think just my presence and my personality and that caught their attention, and I was picked to be on that show, which I think was a great blessing. I had no idea how big this show would be, and to be a part of something this big. And I didn't even know anything about the show when I auditioned for it, to be honest with you. I was I really don't really watch. Yeah, I really don't watch a lot of TV. I have certain shows I like to watch, but I'm not really on watching the TV a lot, So I knew about the show, but I didn't really know about it until I was casted in it, and then I started following the show myself, and seeing how much of a following the show has, and so it was pretty amazing. It was pretty something. It's pretty dope just to be a part of something like that. And everywhere I go, I still get people that knows me from the show, or that take a picture with me, and ask me questions about it. So it's pretty cool. It's real cool, and it's helped me out a lot. It's helped me with my brand, with the ER brand. It helped me out a lot to where just off the show, I've been given parts here and there for certain for roles, just because they see me because they see my work on the show. So it has helped. It has helped my career a lot. So I'm real blessed about it, and I'm real blessed for Kurt giving me that opportunity.
I bet. Did you think that this role in particular, the one that you had on Sons of Anarchy, was that a transition for you as compared to the other work that you had done acting-wise? Or, again, like we talked about, is it kind of this is just another character amongst, the others that I've done.
It was a transition role because I really felt part of the family, part of the SOA family, and to where they have events or rap parties and I'm there, I'm talking with other actors, just hanging out with them. They invited me to go skydiving. I'm like, nah, I don't do skydiving. I'll do anything else but skydiving. I'm cool, but
really.
Yeah.
Really? Sons of Anarchy cast members ask you to do this and you say no. Really?
I'm scared. I can't. I don't trust skydiving.
Look who you're with. Hello. I'd be like, okay, whatever. I mean, unless it's like illegal or something, I'm down with that. I can't believe it. Really?
I don't know. I'm really scared about that. I don't know. You're right.
Couldn't do it, huh? That's okay. Do you ever go to Dayton Callie's house? Because apparently he's got the big pool and everybody wants to go over to his house, so I hear.
I missed that opportunity. I missed it. Yeah. But, I'm still in touch with a few of the cast members, so, I hear from them from time to time, or like Emilio, the one who shot me. Yeah.
Dude, thanks for killing me.
Yeah, that's what I told him. Yeah, I was like, man, thank you for killing me, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. But he joke around.
I was going to ask you about that, actually. In your mind, personally, what was the most disappointing part about that? Meaning, obviously, of course, did you find out you were going to be terminated, or did you just come in one day and all of a sudden you're done?
We were shooting, like, the episode before that, and I think the scene had something to do with us being held at gunpoint in a warehouse, and one of the other actors who was playing like a Fed was about to shoot us. So while we were shooting that episode, we just got the script for the next episode, and it showed me being killed off. And I was kind of like sad. I was like, oh, I didn't, the cast, they was like, they were just telling me, it was good having you on the set, man. Why did they do that to you? Blah, blah, blah. But, as I watched the following episodes after that, I see why that had to happen, because they had to set up the arc for the next season, to progress with the characters, the SOA characters. And me being killed off, Leroy being killed off, it had to carry on with the arc. And Kurt said it himself, he said that, it was, people had to be killed off, that, ain't nobody's untouchable, and that, he has like a seven season arc, I think he has for this show. So for me, me getting killed off, it was just what had to happen for the show to still be fresh and carry on, and at least I was just glad that at least I got killed off, because Leroy started the next season already dead. So I was like, at least they got to show me get killed. I was like, at least I got shown. They showed me get killed off. Not unlike a Leroy, they started the first episode with him already dead. So right.
I hear what you're talking about.
Right.
Well, and I was curious to ask you this too. I don't know if you know this or not, but like, for instance, now your particular character, you played this individual on the show, right? So here you are now, and obviously Emilio has shot you, so you're off the show now. Does that preclude you from, let's say, maybe being recast somewhere down the line as another character, or is that not out of the realm of possibility?
Yeah, no, that's the end of my character for that show.
No, not that character, right? But I mean, like, let's say you came back to Kurt Sutter, or they came to you, like this coming season or whatever. I mean, does that preclude you? Like, okay, they've used you now. You don't think the likelihood is that you'd be able to be recast?
I mean, it's possible. Anything can happen. It all depends on what the story is and what it ain't writing. So, I never put anything past that. I've seen a lot of stranger things happen on films and TV shows where they bring back characters and flashbacks or ghost images. I don't know. So, it would be dope. But, I'm not really the star of this show, so,
You're not?
I mean, the main star, you know, like you know, I'm not like the main character of the show, so it would be dope. It would be an honor for them to bring me back. I would love that in any kind of way. But realistically, I see myself just moving on from that. And if I do work with them again, it'll probably be on another project.
Sure, I imagine so.
Right.
Now, last thing I want to ask you about Sons of Anarchy. I guess I'm always curious to ask the cast members because they've been on there and you've been on this set and we haven't, and you're privy to things that we're not, obviously. What's the one most memorable experience you think you could say that you've had, either with the cast members or on the set itself? What's the most memorable thing for you?
The most memorable thing was just the moments in between the shoots where we all just hang out and we just have great conversations and talk about things that don't even matter. You know, those are like the best moments. You know, where you just shooting the breeze with the other actors, the other guys on the set. You know, those were like the most memorable moments to me, because because everybody's a family. You know, everybody was cool, everybody was great, and just being on the set with them and we all cracking jokes, having a good laugh. You know, talking about any and everything. You know,
and hanging out with all these attractive people, because there is no such thing as a bad-looking actor on Sons of Anarchy. I just don't think it happens. Literally. I seriously don't. I think every one of them is like handpicked hot. It's kind of like hot, 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 hot. And I'm not just talking about Charlie Hunnam, because I know we all know that Charlie Hunnam might be reasonably attractive.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Okay.
I brought my little brother to the set one time, and it was a scene where I was shooting the AK. I think I was testing one of the guns off, and I had brought my little brother to the set, and he was scared of Ron Perlman.
Really?
Because he was intimidated. He was intimidated by him. I was like, man, just go say hi, take a picture with him. Right. I'm scared. That's Hellboy.
It's Clay Morrow. Not just Hellboy, it's Clay Morrow, and he's a badass, okay?
Right.
I would be afraid, too.
Badass. Right.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Although if you look at ER Ruiz, if you look at ER's new picture, I have to say, I'm kind of scared, actually. I looked at you in this new photo of yours, and I'm like, oh, my God, he could, like, beat someone's ass really easily. You're kind of scaring me in that picture. Nice picture, but I'm kind of scared. Just saying. Oh,
thank you. Well, you know, that's my Cali bad boy image.
I figured as much. Yeah, you ain't so bad, boy. I'm interviewing you, so I can tell here. You're not so bad at all. Not at all.
I'm soft as a cookie. I'm soft as a cookie.
Yeah. Cool. That's wonderful. Now, I want to talk, obviously, of course, I know that you've had other television projects. I wanted to cite a few of them because I know that you've participated on the series Parenthood as well as My Own Worst Enemy. Now, comparatively speaking, have you found the so-called, I'm trying to think of how to put it, lack of a better term, I guess I would say, the routine of set life for TV less arduous per se than film? Meaning like you go on a set for TV as compared to film. One of the two. Simpler on film, simpler on TV. Why?
Well, honestly, I think like films could be a more easier because they don't have like a certain amount of days, a set budget where they have to shoot an episode. You know, like film, they have a budget, but you know, it seems less pressure to do your scene as opposed to TV, because TV, you know, they have to get all their shots in this day, and they have a certain amount of days to get the whole episode shot. And I've been on some projects where, you know, they kind of like rushing things, but then either way, it you know what? Not even that. I think it just depends on the budget, the production, and the director, and what are they doing, or whether or not they're trying to get all these shots in at this location at a certain time, or by the daylight. You know, it's a lot of things that goes on. But as an actor, I really, you know, as long as you stay ready, as long as you are on point with what you have to do, there's really no pressure, you know, other than the fact that maybe you'll get a little butterflies just before the shoot. But I look at that as just like an athlete before a big game. You know, you get a little butterflies before you go out there and play that big game. But once you get on the field and you start playing, you know, it's just natural. It's just a natural reaction because you prepared yourself to be out there. So that's how I look at it. You know, right. You're right.
So I'm normal in that I had butterflies, of course, before the show started. I always get butterflies.
Right.
I don't tell I never tell anyone that, but that's that, you know, that first 5 or 10 minutes before you're going on to something big and a big project or whatever, and you're like thinking, oh my God, is this going to go well? And are they going to dislike what I'm saying? Or is this going to work? Are there going to be technical problems? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's very scary, but you know, you play it off very well because I've seen it. You know, you do. You play it off very naturally. You know, I think that, well, and for lack of a better term, you can bullshit your way through things, but that's the difference between delineating what a real talent is and what isn't. You know, anybody can walk onto a stage or otherwise and you do a quickie performance. But realism, real, true acting, I think, is not, you can't bullshit your way through it. You either have talent or you don't.
Thanks. It's just true. It's true.
It is. Very true. Well, and of course you have to be good looking apparently, because if you are, then you can be on Sons of Anarchy. Did I say that once? Yes, I did. Okay. Saying that again. You're very welcome. Did you ever find that your involvement, like let's say for instance, I thought that one of these projects had collided with you also working on Sons of Anarchy. Did you ever find that either this work that was going on or other work that was approached to you at that time, was it restricted at all due to the fact that you had like the demands for the Sons of Anarchy set schedule?
No, you know what? Nothing like restricted me for anything. So more or less, I knew in the time when they would start filming the new season, and since my character wasn't killed off, I knew that I'll be reoccurring because the characters have to deal with the Niners in every season. So I will just, you know, they will like prep me and let me know probably like a month before or 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks before they shoot our episode that they'll be using me. And they'll as soon as they have a script available, they'll send it to me and tell us, you know, what days that they may want to go through a read through with us. So nothing like prohibited me with the shooting. There were times where I had auditions on days that I had to shoot, but you know that's just part of the game. You know, it's just, you know, if you know, sometimes you can't make all the auditions. You just gotta miss them. But and sometimes when you're on the set, you let them know what's going on, and they'll know how they're shooting, whether or not they may need you within the next hour or two. So sometimes they may work with you on helping you go do that audition and come back and finish the shoot. It just depends. There's a lot of verities that go into that, but you know, as long as you're up front with them and you tell them what's going on and they look at what they're doing on their schedule, and if it works out, then everything is great. But I didn't have any restrictions or anything like that. So everything was it was all butter, baby. It was all butter.
The other question about, now this is just relative to TV projects, of course. Like, for instance, let's say Parenthood, or like I'd mentioned, My Own Worst Enemy. What drew you to participate in each of those projects? What's kind of stood out in your mind as something that you wanted to participate in relative to these?
You know, My Own Worst Enemy, I had a great time working in that show, and my character would have been reoccurring if the season wasn't canceled.
Really?
Yeah. It was a cool show. I would have loved to be a part of that, but you know, what I want to get into is I want to get into more sci-fi stuff. I'm a big sci-fi geek. I love Star Wars, Star Trek, Outer Limits, stuff like that, you know, and I want to get more into like I want to start nipping at like more sci-fi projects, you know. So that's where I'm working on right now, just working myself into that genre, because I love sci-fi movies, and I can see myself in a lot of sci-fi projects that's being filmed right now, and a lot of it is filmed in Canada. So I may have to make that transition to Canada to work on some of these projects. So I'm working. So I'm working the angles. I'm working to get into that realm. I just did a couple of sci-fi projects. I did this one. We did a trailer for it first, but the production already have a script. They have named actors in it. This one guy named Joseph Gatt. He's like an albino character actor. He's been in a few stuff. He's on this show called Banshee on Cinemax. The film is called The Big Lug, but it's kind of like Street Fighter with. I mean, these characters got powers and stuff, and it got some cool people in it. Like this other guy named Jim Morrison, who's like a pro wrestler. He's in the movie with us. So it's a sci-fi type of boxing film, and I'm like one of the cornermans. I'm Joseph Gatt's cornerman. So, we shot the trailer. They want to pitch it, get more a bigger budget behind it, and once they do that, then we will shoot the film. So that's another like sci-fi project that I'm working on the side. I currently just finished shooting, and I got this other one that I've worked on like last year. It's called Collapsed, but they finally edited out, and it's written by Roger Hirsch, and it's like an end of the world type of society, and I'm like leader of these group of saboteurs who me and my group, we try to gang up on this guy for his resources. So, I'm going after films that they're more smaller projects, but they're a body of work where I'm tapping into that sci-fi element. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I know exactly what you mean.
Right. So, that's where I want to go. I want to get into more stuff like that.
Sure.
So I'm working.
That sounds like a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like you're saying too, if you really enjoy something, like if you're on a project, and if you hate the idea of working on a horror movie, let's say, you're obviously, I don't think you're going to be as strong of a character, and I don't think your heart's going to be in it as much. Whereas with this, the sci-fi angle here, I think it almost might push you more in terms of doing a better performance because you just appreciate the genre to begin with.
Right. And I love horror movies too. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind working on horror movies. I just love. I was always a big Star Wars fan when I was a kid. I remember going to the theater and watching Return of the Jedi and dancing in the theaters like I was one of the Ewoks.
Right.
So I just love. I'm just a big sci-fi geek. I'm really a big geek. I'm really a. I am. Like, most people don't know, I'm really like a nerd. I'm into computers. I'm into sci-fi. I'm into nerd stuff, video games, But my outer appearance and my persona, people think I'm more like tough guy, street. But really,
big time.
Right.
Big time. Look at your page, dear. Okay, I mean, it just personifies that. It just, you look at them and it's just like, again, you're going to get your ass beat, plain and simple. So it's nice to hear that this individual that we're talking to is just very, very different. It lends itself to most actors, I think. What you see on a camera or what you see on film or screen is not necessarily that same individual that you have here. It just could be a very simplistic person like you or I, obviously. Okay, I want to address or talk about, I should say, some of the films that you've done. But I happen to have a question from one of our listeners. Carrie Wallace had wanted me to ask a question for you. To date, your absolute best role up till this point, in your own opinion, was what?
My absolute best role
up to this point.
Up to this point. Let me see. Up to this point, I played a character. I did this film. It's called The Miracle of Tony Davis. It's about a true life story about this pastor named Tony Davis, and he owns he runs a church out here in the LA area, So we did this film. I did this. It's an independent film, and they're pushing it with, there's some people behind it that's going to be pushing it, and it's just basically a true story on his life. But I played this character where I'm the leader of a gang, once again. But,
what a surprise!
Right. But it was a great role because I'm pretty much influencing these young kids to go out and do some dirt for me, to go out and get revenge for something for a shootout for someone that was shooting at us. So I'm telling them, hey, go out and do this dirt, and they go out and they end up shooting the wrong guy, which is Tony Davis. You can go to his website. They probably have screenshots of it and maybe a trailer. It's called The Miracle of Tony Davis. So to this date, that's the best project that I believe for myself that I've worked on as an actor because it showed a lot more of my acting chops in it. So
very cool. We'll have to check that out. Definitely. Remind me of that when we get done with the interview. We'll put a shout-out to that again so people can listen to it. Now, before I go any further, because it's been an hour, I have to actually share you now, which means I have a telephone caller. I'm excited. Somebody wants to ask you a question. So hold on for 1 second.
Right. Ain't no fun unless the homie can have fun.
I 100% agree. I would share you with just about anybody who calls in here, unless it was Charlie Hunnam. Then it would kind of have to be like, no.
I could totally understand.
Yeah, you know how that is. All right, let me see who we've got here.
All right.
Hello? Well, it's you and me. Apparently it's just you and me. I'm sorry about that. I clicked on and there happened to be nobody there. I'm sorry. Well, I hope they decided to call back in. That was a little strange, huh?
Yes, communication.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. I'm sure that they'll call back, and in the meantime, I'll just keep yapping with you if that's okay with you.
That's fine for me. That's all good and dandy.
All right, good.
I got nothing but time.
Let's switch gears a little bit, and we'll talk about the music first before we go back to talking about your theatrical roles. Now, to me, you personify the ultimate package in that you're, as far as entertainer-wise goes, because obviously you're an actor, producer, as well as a musician. I am very curious to ask, what brought about your establishment as a hip-hop and rap artist? Because obviously, like you mentioned, you've been doing a lot of these acting things, so what prompted all this?
Well, to be honest with you, every decision, every move I made in my life was always towards music. I was always into music. I was always rapping. I was always, freestyling in the back of a car to like old Biggie mixed songs and Tupac songs or NWA, Tribe Called Quest, KRS-One, Bahamadia. I can go on and on. Nas, EPMD. I was always into hip-hop. Every decision, every move I made was always towards music. I just so happened to stick with things that was rolling for me, and that was the Hollywood, the acting. And I've worked with people in the game. It's just that from my point of view, it's the hip hop. It was just hard because at that time it was if you didn't have your own stuff and you try to network with people, work with people, you was always on their time and sometimes it could be a lot of hating in the game. It's a lot of people that don't want to see you shine or so. Eventually, I saved up and got all my own equipment, and I just started working on my craft, and and just continually to make music and make songs, and I just feel like right now at this point is the best time for me to start pushing that product, because now I've worked on my brand to where I can start pushing this music and network with people behind the scenes. I feel like I'm very talented. I actually have one music video that I put together, and I'm planning on doing more. I just haven't put a lot of my music on the internet just yet. But I have one video on my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
You could click on the link from my IMDb page. You click on my YouTube link from my IMDb page. Or it's even on my IMDb page. It's a video that I've done called Street Sweeper for one of the songs I've done. And eventually I'm gonna start putting up more stuff. And I also have some songs on my old MySpace page. You know, it's myspace.com/7879 records. It was me and two of my buddies. We actually have like our own record label. So eventually, like at this point, I'm gonna start pushing more of my music, and maybe I should send you a picture of it so you can post a picture.
That would be very cool.
Right.
Because you're very big on promotion.
Right, yeah, I've been in the lab, and I've just been, like, real focused in mixing and producing and putting together a lot of stuff. So that's been my focus right now, just getting this album together because, I'm the one that's recording it. I'm mixing it, and I'm editing everything, and I'm even doing my own graphic design from the bit of knowledge that I have in, commercial arts. So every decision I made was always in music, and I just feel like right now is a great opportunity for me to really go full speed with it, and I'm in a position where I could put my music in the right people's hands, not just go out, just do it, not just do it and give it to everybody. I'm talking about giving it to people that's gonna be pushed behind me and make the right decisions and, help keep things forward. And I don't care about being like the next Rick Ross or the next Jay-Z or any of those. If that happens, that'll be great. I love it. I'll take that opportunity and I'll roll with it. But more or less, I just, it's so many markets and there's so many options for music. You don't have to be that famous one in front of the camera that everybody knows. You can be behind the scenes. Your music could be on commercials or video games, anything. There's so many different markets where you could tap into with music. It's just that most people look at it as, they want to be that next Jay-Z, the next Biggie Smalls, the next big time rapper. But but realistically, you could push your music anywhere, even out this country. There's so many opportunities and options. You just have to know where you want to direct, where you want to push it at. Where's your direction? You just have to pinpoint your direction and attack it at that direction where you feel where you're strongest at. And that's where I feel I have that opportunity. I have that option to attack it in that direction where I know it's where I'm strongest at.
Of course. I'm curious to ask this question, too. How do you, in terms of yourself, how do you feel that your style varies as compared to, let's say, some of the other fellow hip-hop talents out there?
I consider myself more like a Nas, Tupac, influenced Redman, even like a Tribe Called Quest type of thing. I take all those influences that from those rappers and I combine them into like my own craft, where I'm rapping about, because I grew up in South Central Watts area. I'm from the neighborhood out here in LA, so my little brother, I never got into gangbanging, but my little brother and my family, they all into gangbanging, so I'm around it. It's a part of who I am because it's a part of my family and stuff, and just the things that I have to go through as a burn survivor. So I have a lot of things to talk about and to convey, and I take all those elements and my influences from rappers, like I said, and I like Tribe Called Quest, EPMD, Redman, Tupac, Biggie, even Jay-Z, and I just incorporated I incorporated into the essence of who I am. So that's the type of music that I will be putting out. And once I get all that stuff going, I definitely will be hitting you guys up, promoting it in every way. And that you know, and it's a lot different from what's being, my opinion, it's a lot different from what's being played on the radio. Because I feel like, this is from my opinion, I feel like a lot of the music, a lot of the hip hop music now is kind of like watered down. It's like it's really like no real message being made. You know, all you hear is the same old stuff: bling bling, money, women, drugs. You know, but it's cool. Like, I don't knock it. I love it. There's always a time and place for them songs, but I feel like it's no messages being relayed. You know, like it was back when hip hop was at its purest. You know, back in the 80s and the 90s, where, you know, you had people that was rapping that had messages behind it, you know, like Common or Public Enemy, I just feel like, you know, what I got to say is going to be things that people want to hear.
I gotcha. I want to bring up this point because I know that I've heard this from other individuals, and this has been across the board, and I don't know if it's just some of us in the older generation or whatever, but I've heard this comment made before, so I'm interested to get your take on this, meaning there are those out there that feel that rap genuinely is not an art form, but just rather more of a forum where there's excessive use of obscenity, of course, and that it's more talk than actual music. How would you address something like that?
That just goes to the point where I was saying, you know, a lot of what you hear now is pretty much all of that. You know, it's just, you know, it's been commercialized. You know, it's been commercialized to where, you know, people are looking for a quick hit. They want something simple, something dummied down, watered down, and there's really no talent behind it. It's just a bunch of garbage talk. And I'm not knocking it. Like I said, you know, it's a time and place for it. There's always a time for certain types of music. But if that's all people is hearing, if that's all that's being heard, and then, you know, then you have a point to make that generalized assumption on music because that's all that's being heard, you know. And there's a lot of talented music that's out there that's not even being heard, you know, that people don't even know about. And the only way you'll know about it is you keep your ears to like the streets or the underground movement, you know, and that's, you know, that's the only way. So in that aspect, you know, that they're right, you know. A lot of music that's being put out is no talent behind it. It's just garbage music for people to just to listen to. And sometimes, you know, music is powerful because, you know, it can make people think, it can make people, be a part of that music. So if that type of music is being played everywhere and that's all people is hearing, then that's kind of like, in a way, and this is my opinion, that's just kind of dumbing down the generation of people who's listening to it, you know, right? And there's and then, you know, ultimately that's what people start thinking is what music is what you're hearing. And,
maybe share with me, or actually share with us, I should say, let's just do the flip side of the coin, because obviously I know you've talked about some of the individuals you like from a male perspective. How about the female gals out there in the hip-hop and the rap scene? Who are some of your favorites? Who are you impressed by?
Oh, you know, I like Nicki Minaj. She's hot, you know. She's the hottest thing smoking right now, you know, musically and physically.
I knew you were going to say that. Now, would you classify... Would you say Lady Gaga, could you see her venturing over to the hip-hop / rap?
She's already doing that. She's already doing that. Yeah, I mean, you know, hip-hop is, you know, it's a part of all genres of music, you know.
Right.
Right. And then it's just crossing over, you know. It's crossing over to where, like, Lady Gaga is taking elements of it, you know, and then putting in her music, and it's just, you know, she's already doing it herself, and and I love other rappers too. You know, like Bahamadia, you know, Queen Pen, Lady of Rage. You know, there's a few hip hop artists. Of course, Little Kim. You know, Foxy Brown. You know, I could keep going on and on. There's a lot of female hip hop artists that's pretty tight. You know, and so you know, and I like their music too. So, but I can relate more to the guys because the women's always talking about, you know, women stuff.
We're talking about the guy. We're talking about you men. Usually, is what's happening. You know,
right.
No, I understand. That's fine. I want to touch upon obviously 7879 Records, which is what you had started talking about, and I know, of course, you cited that is a collaboration with yourself and other individuals. Do you find personally, would you say that rap is best done via collective effort, or would you rather say that the solo performance exemplifies a better product? Solo or collaboration?
I have a lot of collaborative songs, you know, and I think the solo effort is what's gonna push everything right because me as an individual, I'm already in a position, and I'm talented. I feel I'm talented. I feel my songs are tight, also. But I'm in a position to where I could push the label more by pushing myself as a solo artist. You know what I'm saying? It's right. You know, so that's where I'm at with that, and once I get my product together, you know, I'll start focusing more time and pushing you know, the group collabo thing. So right, but first is just going to be me because I'm in a position to where I could push the label more just by pushing me, and that's the better move business wise.
Okay. And are there particular, now this is specific to 7879 Records, are there particular songs or particular things that we can go ahead and check out from 7879, ones that you feel most proud of or are most defining, do you think, as it relates to this label?
I have some older songs on the MySpace. That's the only thing that I have available right now. It's on, like I said, it's on my MySpace, 7879 Records. We still have the page up, and we still got some songs on there. They're more older songs, but it's songs from the group, you know. So you'll see songs from like Angelia Smalls or Al Breezy or Bankhead on that website, and you can listen to it right now. Like I said, once I get my product out, I'll start putting everything up on DatPiff and SoundScan and all the other musical social media sites to promote everything. But if people want to see a sample of my work, you could, like I said, you could go straight to my IMDb page, ER Ruiz, and right there I have a music video from one of the songs that's going to be on my mixtape. It's called Street Sweeper, and it's on YouTube also. So if you just Google ER Ruiz Street Sweeper, and the video will probably pop up.
Okay.
So So and 7879 is the year I was born and the year my partner was born. So
cool.
So I was born in 78, and my friend Michael Bankhead, he was born in 79. We're like best friends. We've known each other since we was able to go outside and play kickball. So,
oh my God, how cool!
Yeah.
Look at that. Now I got one more music question for you before we move on to the next couple of things here. Because I'm a novice, obviously, and I'm not a musician, I'm more of a literary artist, obviously, I beg to ask the question, as far as creating rap music goes, do you think the process differs greatly from, let's say, somebody who composes pop music or country music, or is it all kind of standardized across the board as it relates to composing of music?
You know what I learned? There is no rules to composing music. There is no rules at all. It's so wide open. It's just all about what's the best way for you. What's the best way you work? You know, there is like a certain technical formula that goes into like the mixing and recording process. But as far as like the whole process of making music in general, it's wide open. It's however it gets done. You know, there is no set rules. You know, some of the best music are being done, and people are not even like in the same studio together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like somebody will be would do the audio mixing on the song and be out here in L.A., but all the verses and the mixing is being done in New York, or you got somebody that's recording their verse somewhere else and they just send it to the person who's mixing it. There's just so many ways music is being done. There's really no like set rules to how to do it. You know, it's just what gets it done the best way.
Sure, gotcha. That makes sense too. I mean, from a practical standpoint, it's kind of like no matter what genre you work in and what your actual position is. I mean, I can understand that. Cool. Okay. Now this one. Now, I know many times in society, individuals, I've heard them say this before, that out of every tragedy arises something good. Now, I understand, sadly, that your brother had been the protagonist of a house fire, which I'm assuming proved to be the cause for your volunteer work being done with the Alyssa Rich Brown Foundation.
Alyssa and Rich Brown Foundation.
Yes, and I knew I was going to mispronounce that, so thank you for correcting me.
No problem.
Please tell us how this has helped to shape, how it helped to shape you more as a person, meaning working with them, as well as the actual mission of the aforementioned foundation to those that don't know.
You mean talking with people individually, like well, you know, last year, like late last year, I went to every year there's a World Burn Congress, and that's when I was in Milwaukee, because last year it was in Milwaukee, and they
when you didn't
every
stop
year,
to see me, by the way.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. So it's funny because you know, I try to go to, if I can, go to them every year. Every year there's somewhere different. This year it's going to be in Rhode Island, and it's all funded by the Phoenix Society, which the person in charge of the Phoenix, one of the people that runs the Phoenix Society is the actor. I mean, the other actor, J.R. Martinez, who's also a burn survivor. He was on Dancing with the Stars. So he's a part of that, the Phoenix Society also. But just being there and you know, being a part of that and organization and networking with people and just talking with people and them like not everybody follow me or know that I'm in acting, but majority do, and it's just so like inspiring to people. It's very like powerful, you know, in a way, to know that, you know, I have like a major influence over people, you know, that look up to me and see the things I'm doing and inspires them to keep their head up, you know, because some people come from areas where, you know, being a burn survivor is not really accepted, you know, to most people. You know, sometimes they're closed-minded in certain areas around this country, and when they see individuals like myself or JR, you know, doing it in front of the big screen, and you know, it's powerful in a way that I could help them be a stronger person just by talking to them and telling them how, you know, what I'm doing and how I'm doing it.
And sharing your experiences, of course.
Sharing my experiences, yeah. So, in a way, it checks me also because you know, I have to always know that it's not just for me, it's for them also what I'm doing. And so when I feel weak, there's times where I feel, because we all human, we all go through emotions. So when I'm feeling weak or depressed or whatever that situation may be, I could just make a prayer, say a prayer, and tell the Lord keep me strong, and to know that I'm not just doing it just for myself or my family. I'm doing it for them, and that just that just makes me stronger as a person to keep attacking the things that I love doing and accomplishing the goals that I have set in front of me. So being a part of that stuff, being a part of the Burn Foundation, the ER Ruiz Burn Foundation, the Phoenix Society, all the other support groups, it's very helpful not only to them but to me, because it makes me a stronger person also.
I imagine so, definitely. It has to.
Yeah.
It has to be very rewarding and enriching, of course. Obviously, all of us who participate in any form of charity or good work, undoubtedly, of course, it's got that effect upon you, clearly. And I, of course, am always one who tries to lend a helping hand. And I'm curious to ask to any listener, any individual who is hearing you or who will hear you, is there a way for us, even though I'm in Wisconsin or other places, for us to be able to kind of step up and say, hey, we want to do something to help?
I'm sorry, would you say that there's any other?
If there's other listeners, let's say, or individuals that are out there who might be listening to this interview thereafter and have an interest in, let's say, this foundation or in your cause and want to be able to help, are there ways for us to be able to do that even though we're not local? You can always,
whenever I do anything, you can always mention that the ER Ruiz Burn Foundation, they were instrumental in helping me go through my therapy and my support system. They're very instrumental in creating the person that I am right now. And I'm always going into their offices and I'm talking to the people over there. Margarita, she's in charge of the organization over there. And the Southern California branches, there's two branches. There's the Northern California branch and then the Southern California branch. So they have a website also, and they always looking for support for the causes that they do. So I say just helping bring that organization to the forefront will help out, and if anyone listening, I say always keep an eye out on the organizations that's in your community, and help out with them, and help them bring to the forefront of what's going on, because there is a high percentage of young kids that's getting in house fires, or even during the holidays, Christmas trees light up on fires. When I was speaking to Margarita at our offices out here, she was telling me every week there's always a child in the hospital who was suffering from some sort of burn scar every week. So there's kids, between the ages of like 7 and 14 that are being, they're being in some sort of a burn fire, So it's definitely something that's going on every day that's really not widespread or known, and people not talking about it. But it's something that's nevertheless something that's definitely a problem that so it needs to be addressed. Yep. It needs to be addressed. Yeah. So
Makes you more amazing, my friend. Just another accolade on that belt of yours. I'm telling you, if you get me higher, you're going to be too big for me. You won't even know who I am anymore. I can't believe it. Guy's going to be like, I talked to this lady. One day I forgot all about her.
No way. I'm not going to. I'm not going to forget about those who were with me when I was small.
And you know what? That's important to have that. I've always said that the people that I find most fascinating and inspirational, especially because I'm going to be meeting some of them very, very soon in New York, I'm so excited to always be able to say, you know what, I talked to these people and they were up and they were coming and, you know, they made a name for themselves and I met them in person and they are just fabulous. I mean, they're not above themselves, do you know what I mean? They're just really cool, laid-back people who don't take their success for granted. They're just really appreciative and super cool. And, you know, those are the people you can go out to dinner with, you can have a cocktail with, and it's just like being out with one of your guy friends or girlfriends or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel for me, I just feel like my, not just me, but my whole family, like my whole family tree, we all talented people, and, and I'm just an extension from that, from my uncle. And I really look up to my uncle. He's really my inspiration because he was the one that saved me in that house fire when I was young. He's the one that pulled me out. And in his time, he was a famous artist. He was like real big back in the 60s and the 70s. His name is David Mosley. You could just Google his name on YouTube, and he did all the artwork for like the Black Panther Party. He was a part of the Black Panther movement. He was real big back in the 70s, and he was famous for his charcoal drawings. So he's involved with Brotherhood Crusade and WACT, and he's been a real influential part of my life, because he's who I look up to as an inspiration, not only for saving me, but for helping me pursue my talents, just giving me the encouragement and being there, and just someone I look up to. So if anybody I look up to is my Uncle Dave. And it's a big family, like I don't really tell most people, but, I'm also related to Sugar Shane Mosley, who's my cousin, who's a great boxer. Yeah, his dad is my mom's brother. So, my family is, we're all talented in one way or another. So, I just feel like, I'm just an extension of that, and I'm blazing my own path and that same tradition.
Right. Of course, certainly. I got one more question for you, and then you're off the hook. How's that sound?
Sounds great. I'm here.
We just been kind of sitting here shooting the breeze, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, our next interview will have to be in Milwaukee when you're here and actually visiting. Or I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. When I come out to California and I visit, and if you've got yourself your new product put together, then we'll get together in person and we'll actually do a live face-to-face interview. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
And then, I'll talk to Sam Crow and we'll coordinate that while my time is out there in California, which, it probably won't be for a couple of months yet. I'm going to New York first. But I would love to be able to collaborate and sit down and do a face-to-face, and people can actually look at you. Maybe we can Skype it. Individuals get a chance to kind of see who you are, because we're all still in the process of, Sam Crow Radio is relatively new yet. So we're still trying to kind of just get things together. But I think people would appreciate maybe taking a look at some of these actors and individuals and seeing who they are and seeing that they're real people, especially accenting talent such as yours, because you are humbled and you are genuine and you are an enigma to certain individuals, and I think that's very cool. And I would love to be able to do that. So let's work on that for the future. Now, I have one more question for you.
Go ahead.
So speaking of looking to the future, because we all know that you have a huge accent on huge fan base, if individuals wish to meet you in person, meaning, obviously some of the SOA cast members have done personal appearances, things like that. Do you do personal appearances, or are there ways for you to be attainable to individuals who want to see you?
I haven't did any personal appearances with the cast members since I left the show. I'm not opposed to good. I would love doing it, but like I said, I'm always out and about doing events with the Burn Foundation. So if anybody is willing to come out and hang out with me with the many events that I'm involved in, and definitely anyone can catch me doing that. And I'm not opposed, to meeting up and doing appearances. So I'll probably be more doing more of that once I get my music going. Once I get that start rolling, I'll be pushing that more heavy. I'll be out more promoting that. And so that's just that's going to be something that I'm going to be pushing real hard. So either way, I'm down for it. You guys can reach me on my Facebook. You know where I'm at. I'm not hard to find.
No, now, I got to ask this question because, I look around on Facebook on time to time, and, of course, we all have, yourself, myself, Sam Crow, we all have various mutual friends. So I have to ask this question because I'm obligated as a girl to do so. People say that you're a handsome devil. So, of course, the women want to know, is he single?
Yep.
Oh, my God. He's single, ladies. Did you hear that? You could actually approach him for a date. I'm not sure how you would do that, but you can actually approach him for that. And that's a good thing that you said that because when I come to California, I'm being auctioned off. So make sure to tell all your single friends I'm being auctioned for charity. So if you want to come and swing by and say hi in person, I would love that. That would be absolutely
cool. I would
cool.
Definitely do that. That would be cool.
It is. It's very cool. Don't you love that you're able to kind of all – I like the fact that we're all able to get together and kind of conglomerate and this and that and stuff. And obviously, of course, props go, as I'm sure you would agree, to Sam Crow. I mean, because obviously he is the brainstorm behind developing Sam Crow Radio. He finds you to be he has a way with people cool. and collaborating with and putting people together. I think it's a great skill that he has. And it's amazing. I love that we're able to do it.
Yeah, we had a good conversation a couple of times. Yeah, we talked for a while.
He's absolutely inspiring, and he's the easiest, most laid-back person to deal with, and he's always so flattering and complimentary, and it allows individuals to not only get together and to get to know their audience and for fans to get to know other individuals like in your arena and so on, even if you're a current cast member or a past cast member. I think that's absolutely amazing. He wanted me to pass on a message to you. He finds you to be absolutely awesome and inspirational, and he wants you to know that we love you. All of us love you, obviously, both myself, the Storytell Club, him, obviously, and we appreciate your time, and we have nothing but love and respect for you. And I wanted to not forget about this because this is the only thing we didn't get to. If you all have some time to go to the IDBM movie database, you're going to find that Mr. Ruiz here, from the span of 2007 to present, I just wanted to cite the following, meaning Sinners, Caught in the Game, The Things We Carry, as you mentioned, Shadows of the Monarch, and Collapsed are just some of your bodies of work as it relates to actual film productions. And I'm sorry we just ran out of time and couldn't go through all that. But certainly, you guys go ahead, check that out on the movie database.
Yeah.
I want to run this past you before I forget. I know that you're on IMDb. We all know that you're on Facebook. You've also mentioned, of course, the links as far as to MySpace. All of this, by the way, I will post up on the radio show page and additionally on my personal Cindy Mich page, obviously. I know that you mentioned the YouTube thing. I also know that you have a LinkedIn profile. Is there any other place that we can find you?
Is there? I'm trying to think.
I'm asking you, dear. Where can I find myself? I'm not sure. This is like talking to Carl McDowell. Carl, where can we find your movies or where can you see your films? I'm not really sure. I don't know.
I actually have a site. It's called Taltopia or Fame Source. I have some stuff on there too. Fame Source, Taltopia. I'm not exact. You know what? It's been a while since I've been on that site. Sure. But I'll definitely link you to everything. I'll find out everything and I'll link you to all those stuff.
I would appreciate that, just because of the fact people probably don't know.
I think you can. I think I have a link to that from my Facebook. I'm not exactly sure. Either it's from my Facebook or my IMDb. It's either called Fame Source or Taltopia.
Okay.
But,
and we can confirm that off the air too. You can get a hold of me.
Oh no, you know what?
Post up everything.
You know what? The link is from my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So
yeah.
I'll go ahead and I'll post that up and all that good jazz so that everybody knows about that. Okay, this is what I'm going to leave you with, sir, because I'm going to let you have your Saturday evening, and then I'm going to find out what my Saturday evening is going to be, because I don't know yet. I'm about to find out. This is what I wanted to say to you. First of all, thanks so much again for your time, obviously, because we all appreciate that. I have to probably agree wholeheartedly with Sam Crow in that you are very inspirational. You're not over the top. You're not conceited, for lack of a better term. And the author here, that's the only way I can put it. You're not the big top dog in the room that walks in the room and says, I'm a badass and I'm all about this, that, and the other thing. You truly are very humble. You are extremely in tune with what you're good at and what you want to be and where you're going to go. I hold you to very high expectations, because I am certain that you will ascertain all of those. We will follow you and we will support you in anything that you want to do. And I would be very disappointed if you won't agree to come back to Sam Crow Radio again. Hello? Sure, I give him all these nice, wonderful words, and I think we've actually physically lost him. Okay, folks, well, that's everything that we have for Mr. ER Ruiz, as I might have mentioned, and I will post this up on the radio page as well as, of course, on my personal page for information relative to TV and theater. It's the IMDb movie database. He, of course, has a Facebook presence. He's also located on MySpace and YouTube videos that he had referenced earlier. And for those of you who are in business who wish to hook up with him directly, he has a LinkedIn profile as well. So, again, I'll be posting all of that information. Certainly you can go ahead and listen in at any given point in time after this interview is done, because all of our episodes are archived. So at any given point in time, just pass it along to your friends, give them a link, let them know that we exist. Certainly pass along our Facebook page information, because we have an actual show page, Sam Crow Radio, which is on there. For those of you who aren't linked to Mr. Sam Crow himself, I would behoove you to definitely go ahead and check his page out, because he's just an amazing anomaly that we should all know and love. Just want to throw this out here real quickly. My next interview is penciled for the 22nd, in which case we will be having Piston Clothing. That is going to be scheduled for 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., and that is, again, on February 22nd. So thanks so much to all of you. Thanks again to Sam Crow, to all of the listeners, to everybody who helped to facilitate this interview. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
Napa know-how.
A Napa guy knows more isn't always better, unless we're talking about full-size vans. These beasts do more than get you from A to B. They have so much space a man can live in it. With shag carpeting, water bed, and a sweet lava lamp, these mobile abodes have all the comforts of home. With quality parts and plenty of Napa know-how, you can keep the original tiny house running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.